Dun dun dun. Looks like we're live. Welcome back, everybody. As you can see from the title and the car, if you don't know, I've done a few videos on this car already. Some gear issues, obviously. Let's get into this. Let's see here. Whoop, here we go. This motor right here. See the green can? 3800 kV. Very stout. From what I can tell, something like a 10.5 turn motor. So one of the more serious motors that I've ever tried. And getting it to hold the power, getting this chassis to hold the power, has been difficult at best. At worst, it's been a complete shit show. So what had happened was, I thought that I would put together a car that would give me all of its upgrades and turn into some rally monster. And indeed it does, if treated properly. But I went ahead and put a very serious motor and an LRP. I don't know if you can see down in here. Flow X off-road motor control. I think its peak rating is 2200 amps, which is quite a lot. Anyway, when I first got this little kitty going, this is, there we go, the front. Is this a, oh no, yeah, this is the front one-way clutch. All right, see, it turns this way, but it won't, it'll freewheel. And then this is a rear direct drive. Car just spins in circles. Doesn't really want to drive very nicely. I thought it was going to be better traction for kind of off-road driving. So my bad. Didn't really work. And obviously it was a little bit too powerful for the plastic gears. So, ta-da! Have to do the steel gear diff upgrade. I just got these from, there you go, RC Pit Products. Hope that's not coming out in the stream as backwards, but it might be. If it's backwards, it's RC Pit Products. What does that say? Contact? Or okay. Oh, those are not the rims that are going on this car, by the way. Those are just some that we just got in for some other stuff. Oh, let's see here. Do I have a bent axle? We'll have to check that out. Ooh. Hey. Let's found some steering parts that are going towards a certain cool guy something or other. Ah, there we go. There's some of those. All right. There's that. Lead locks. See? Plastic ones. Steel gear differential. If you can't see it, it's for TA-06 because this chassis shares gearboxes, kind of, with the TA-06. So the internal working parts are swappable. This is not for this. This is just another good company, Jazz Rider. This is for this. Bearing set, $10.60 plus $4 shipping, I think is what it was. The reason why I use cheap bearing sets on this car is because it runs in dirt all the time, and the motor is so powerful that I don't know if you can see. You see how the knuckle and all these parts in here have been sandblasted? Why am I using expensive bearings? Oh wait, I'm not, because I don't want to sandblast them and ruin them. So you can put in $70 bearing sets if you want, but it's likely is not that you are going to smoke them quickly, because this car is not polite to any of that sort of thing. I also made a mistake. Ooh. Ooh. That's nice. It's Loctite. I made the mistake of putting aluminum bead locks on it. I mean, they're awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's just kind of a bit of overkill. And a lot of unsprung weight, which, if it's spinning quite fast, which it usually is, pretty easy to take out some gears. How do I know that? How am I so sure? Here's an interesting gear. Ooh. Yeah. This camera sucks. I can't really tell. You can't really tell. It still looks like a gear, kind of. Yeah, maybe not. Oh, oh. There you go. Big fat fingers in the way. Yeah. Oh. It's kind of chewed up. Oh, well. You don't want to see that. You're looking for this. So, plastic bead locks, reduce unsprung weight. Steel gear differentials that are open so that when one of these nasty tires sticks on the ground, doesn't smoke the gearbox at either end, because it was doing it to both ends. It didn't care. And I have the feeling, regardless of what I do, that that motor is still strong enough to genuinely just snap the gas at any point, and likely as not, you're gonna eat a gear. So if I had to declare something about these cars, I would say that you don't want to do well, 3800 kV seems a bit much. All right, cross pins out. I don't know why I'm taking them out. Maybe I don't need to. In the back, I definitely shouldn't. What am I doing? Okay, now yeah, probably. Mostly. Why not? All right. Have a little smoke. Take out the transmission. Be good to go. Let's see here. How do we normally go about doing this one? I like to take the bottom of the front shock off. Passenger side, I guess. Well, no. It's the Lancia Delta. They only made these in left-hand drive, so yes, passenger side. Okie dokie. I usually don't take this shock off because of all this stuff attached to it. I don't know how much of it you can see, but I don't want to touch it. All right, take off the spur and pinion gear cover. Super fun. And this kind of mostly comes out somehow. Like that. It's a happy little gear cover. As you can see, inside the whatever the hell brand this is, EA, whoever that is, they sold me this XV-01 gear adapter. It's aluminum. It comes with an inner and outer piece. And quite obviously, it needs to come off of there. Or wait, does it? Yeah, why not? Ooh. Why not? Might be I Loctited it. Do I genuinely need to? Well, I kind of got to take that motor plate off of there, don't I? Yep. I have to get in there like swimwear, folks. You're going to be able to hold the gear after you've Loctited it, which is, you know, yeah, good pinchers. All right, as you can see, the threads are a different color than the bolt. That is an indicator of an anaerobic sealer. Aren't you so well informed now? Usually one coating is enough to use multiple times. You don't have to reapply it. There's your did you know fact. We're covering all kinds of ground here. It's fun. At some point I'm going to run out of shit to talk about and just bolts to do. So don't hate me for not talking all the time. Come on, you. Out with you. There you go. I suppose if you really had to or wanted to, you could keep track of all the bolts and where they go. I'm kind of used to it, so. And if I do lose any or don't want to reuse any, I usually keep bolt kits in stock. Like to take a quick second and say thank you, viewers, for subscribing. Recently made double digits. Super proud. Glad you're all here at some point. Oh, hell. All right. Gear adapter cross pin. Gear adapter cross pin is kind of a tricky little thing. Come here, you tricky little mother effer. They're chrome little steel pins. You see? Oh, shit. There it went. There it is. I've got good aim when I drop stuff. All right. That comes off. Super, super fun times. Let's see. Yeah. Of course, I'm gonna have to take off that front shock. Ooh. Most everything, when you do upgrades on this thing with the aluminum, pretty much everything that goes into aluminum, you're gonna want to put just a touch of thread locker, but be warned, it better be that you like it there pretty permanently. Because if you don't want it there permanently, don't put Loctite on it. Oh, yes. Nice and tight. That's how we're supposed to like it. Motor mount bolts. Yahoo. Oh, shit. Sensor wire. Sensor wire not long enough. Remove sensor wire. Make sure that you don't depin sensor wire. Remove green monster. And now we have Well, we have some choices. We got us some choices to make, you and me, viewers. We can come in from the top side. We can try and be sneaky at the bottom. I don't think it's going to work. Motor plate. We're going to strip off stuff from the top, work our way down to the bottom. As is tradition, really. Yeehaw. So I've got these little carbon fiber wings on here that kind of do nothing but shear the body when you hit stuff. So my report, you decide. I guess they're harder and they do protect the motor can and the gears, but I'm pretty sure the plastic did that shit already. So don't forget your wheel shims. Can you see that? Ah, I see it glinting in the camera. Oh, I did. There you go. Son of a bitch. It fell. We're done. Okay. Motor mount. Mine has been heavily modified. Well, not the motor mount side, but this strut bracket brace thing they got hanging over the front here. I tried to keep as much of the support structure in this vehicle as I could, but sometimes you gotta get the Dremel out and you gotta cut some shit. If you're not cutting on it, it's not your own, really. And everything else is just kind of a bolt-on. I might be dropping screws. Tiny little things, so be careful. Or don't, just replace them. I don't care what you do. I'm not trying to be your boss. You have to pull all three of the bolts out before you can get the clamp out. And that is strictly because of what I have done with adding this front low-rise carbon fiber shock tower. I did the high-rise in the back, low-rise up front, aluminum spacers, nuts and washers, slid the shock on, and then there's this brass spacer and a nut to cap it all off because, hell, why not? So, motor plate. Now what do? We'll switch gears. Get down on some of this underside. We need to take the belt off. So we got to flip this upside down. Get our battery cover off. This guy, that guy there. All the way down in the corner. If you'll notice, I took pieces of foam and on the inside and the outside, it protects dirt from flying in there. And you're probably saying, well, duh, stupid, there was a cover here and all kinds of stuff, but what you don't know is even though there's little snorkels on the cover, this thing still shoots sand and dirt up there because it's all dusty. And it piles up in here. And then it gets around your motor control. And then your motor control overheats and smokes itself. And as with all electronics, once you let the blue smoke out, it's game over. So airflow equals cooling, not a sealed container. Anywho, oh, that's right. A belt cover. This is me. Is that you? No, that's not you. Whoops. Missed it by that much. Okay. Far forward. Okay. Far forward. I knew that. I've been here before. I know what I'm doing. Where? Oh, still got some work to do on Mr. My corner man here. Or did I undo the wrong one? No, you only get that in live TV, kids. I undid the wrong one. It isn't the far corner. Whoops. All right, so I found it. This is the one in from the corner. One step in from the corner is the right screw to lose. Here we go. There's your belt cover. And the foam would hold the screw, but you want to pop it out so it doesn't go dropping into anything. If a screw drops into your gear set or something, it's not going to be a happy experience for you. So usually I just take them and pile them all over there. All right, so you can see, lovely little belt-driven thing. So you can take your screwdriver, pry the belt over, and run the belt forward. That's why you would take the rear tires off, so that you can just spin shit. Of course, if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. You can figure that out for yourselves. Differential's got to come out, but this brace I'm unscrewing it out of is, you see, I speak to you with my hands. If you do not understand, write me some sort of letter. Right, there's a, you can use a keyboard and type things on it. And tell me what you think. Oh, yay. This you do not use Loctite on. There's no need. It's plastic. As you're screwing it in, it's actually creating enough heat friction usually to kind of get yourself a nice grippy little thread engagement going. I don't know. I'm new. I don't know what to do. There we go. Tiny snap-on electrical pliers. Okay. Okay. Very, very thin. I gotta have them. If you want to do fun stuff, like just reaching in, grabbing these tie rods or upper control arms, whatever you want to refer to them as. Upper wishbone, perhaps? All right, I've got CV axles in the front of this. So obviously it's not going to pop out like easily. Okay, but when you put the suspension all the way down, kind of gets them out here, so when we pull it up, they should be able to, in theory. In theory. All right, so can I, should I, could I, will I? Probably. Let's see. Maybe these two back brace bolts have to come out. It's been a few months, man. I've been waiting for a long time to get back to this car because I wanted to save this for you. This is actually one of the more, what the hell? Not that screw. I just lost one in front of you. All right, we're gonna have to replace that one. Luckily, we have this one over here as a spare to see which size we just lost. Awesome. I lost this size. I think the brace should be good enough to wiggle and wobble, but we'll see. You know what I could do? Nah, no sense in that. Let's just pop the diff out or see if it'll come out of there yet. I haven't been here in a minute. I've been waiting for parts and then saving all this content because, as I said, this video series is pretty popular, at least from my perspective. The numbers suggest this is the more watched video series of them, so I just held back all the parts and stuff to get a chance to do it well, and I had to wait until I got this computer set up out here. It's a very old computer. It took a minute to figure out how to get it actually up to speed on. I believe I can fly. That's right. One differential transmission thing. Yeah, so as you can see, let me give you a better camera angle. That is what it looks like with all of your upgrades and kind of a triangulated front suspension. So if you can see that, it's a very freewheeling, kind of free-moving setup. And with the CV axles in there, they just kind of stick in place where you need. These knuckles, actually, they're inner caster blocks is what they call them. And then these outer knuckles, obviously, are aluminum, but these are aluminum as well. And a lot of it, it's like a blend of Tamiya, Yeah Racing, and I believe Jazz Rider. So let's see what we're doing here. Maybe I might have enough air in this to blow this off real quick. Oh yeah. Oh, all 20 pounds of that air pressure. Come on. Here's some. Yeah. Get all your little nicks and crannies. I don't want to blast you with my air compressor, folks. You don't want to hear that. Trust me. And since I make do, we're going to do this rally style. Okay. Taking the bottom case of the differential out so that I can build the new differential, axle cups, all that jizzy jazz, and put it back together. Then once I do that comes this super, super exciting part of this stream. I get to unbolt those tires from the bead locks and then put them on the new ones, which is going to be super fun. Nope, shitty. There it is. I got it. I'm on it. Okay, so as you can see, gear differential, super. I'm gonna put that in there. Oh wait, I need that. What am I doing? Yeah, that's right. I got to take this thing apart. Crap. All right, bearing. bearing. I need the axle cups because I don't think they come in the kit, do they? Oh, maybe they do. Maybe they do. Let's just set that over there for now. Time to get into the parts bag. Tamiya will sell replacement parts, but their kits come with parts bags. You probably already know this, but a lot of those parts bags can be hard to get a hold of. You kind of have to look them up. But as you can see, all their stuff. Aha! Here, there's a square screenshot. Oh, back it up. There you go. And no, there's nothing on the other side, so not so lucky for you. Okay. Those are your differential case pieces. Awesome. Fresh new gear. Here's all your pins and your seal. These are steel gears, so we're using oil. Usually I use just a little bit of grease on the plastic stuff. Probably why I shear so much plastic stuff, because that grease doesn't have the kind of shear load. It actually adds shear load, I would think, or some kind of shearing load. It's a load of horseshit probably, but don't quote me. I'm not an engineer. I just imagine running too heavy of grease is a good way to snap axle shafts and do other nasty shit to your differential. Which is probably what I was doing. But they were plastic. Is that an excuse? Do I have an excuse, people? They were plastic, man. They deserved it. Oh, look at this. I am the cleanest mechanic you'll ever see. All right, let's see. Here's some fun. Oh, hi. Some of this shit you really don't want to lose. Of course, if you're pulling it down, you're going to end up having some pretty good parts bins as well. So, a little dabble here and up at the face of your little axle cup. The kit comes with new axle cups, so hallelujah. You see? So by the time we're done, it'll look just exactly the same, but I don't have to use any of the old stuff, which gives me extra axle cups. And I promise you, you want extra axle cups. This thing is powerful enough to completely ruin your day. It'll chew up axles. Okay, let's see here. I'm actually going to consult the old Manuel here. Shim. I was wondering why I was seeing shims, because you have to use them. Okay. Let's see. Axle cup. Yes. So if you take the axle cup, you can push the shim. Oops. Haha. I'm showing you shit you can't see. Axle cup, shim inside, okay? Pushes it in. Gets it to seat down on there. And here comes the fun part. When that falls off and disappears, you got to chew the old one up anyway. Oops. There you go. I'm going to try and get that in there, but I don't know if it's actually going to work on these pliers or not. I might have to drop that down in there and just kind of fiddle-faddle with it for a minute. Should be fun. Let's see how it goes. Immediately off to the side. The battle begins. Turning, turning. Oh, oh. Shit. I need a very tiny flathead. I don't know. I'm just not sure. Aha! Oh shit! That ain't the one. Aha! My ass! Ah! Ha! That's the one. You see that? Fisher control systems. Fisher controls. Whatever. Oh shit! Problemitos. Immediate problems. All right. Let's see here. Let's try and get this. Lined up and see if I can't get the pliers in there and do it from the side. Uh-oh. Not so funny. I wonder. I did see something here that might work. Did that work? Oh, shit. Shot it right through the other side. There she goes. Okay, so turns out your secret weapon for doing the cross pin, as you can see, which is now totally installed professionally, the tool is a zip tie, because you can go right down into this groove, which you can't see because it's all black and my camera sucks. But hey, trust me, grab yourself a zip tie, have yourself some fun. Oh, don't do that. Come on. All right. Now what they want you to do, one of your big side gears. Oh, wee. There you go. That is a half a differential. Okay, so we'll line this guy up. We're going to put this guy in. They want you to put the little rings, okay, in the center there. Obviously, add yourself a merry little axle cup, drive cup, inner CV shaft. I don't, whatever you want to call it. Take the other drive cup, press that down. Seems to work. Cross pin. Hey, you're supposed to get in there fast and make me look good. You're making me look bad. You look terrible right now. We're on video. There she goes. Okie dokie. Super fun time. All right. Hey, get your little cross pin ass back in there. Son of a bitch. All right, so you got steel cups, chromed steel pins. If it'll ever get into the friggin' hole. It's being a bit, well, I believe the Scottish call it cunty. There she goes. Ah, I see. I see now. Call you dirty names and you start working. But you just had to take part in the show, huh? Okay, so I believe then we take our two cross pins, so named because when placed together, groove, they indeed form a small cross. Gear teeth to the inside so that they may drive one another. Oh, ha, don't drop it. Ah, shit. There it went. It's over with. Oh, we're back on. Oh, it's Gear Mania. All right, so I'm going to go like this. Oh, hell, I put one on backwards. That's no good. There we go. See what I'm doing? Probably not. I am aligning the slots in the cross pins to be in the right position to accept one another while maintaining the gears in their little spot. Okay. Now, all right, obviously it pushes one up and tries to rotate this stuff. So I'll hold it down. See if we can't get you to see some of this. All right, so now you know how a differential works in action. Congratulations, you've seen it all. Ow, son of a bitch. It's hard to hold that like that. Son of a bitch. Fill the cavity with the oil. Be sure to fill the cavity completely so that all the surfaces are lubricated. Alrighty. Now, if you just dump this thing over, it's obviously just going to spit the gear off, cause you trouble, but you don't want to dump the oil out either. So do a little rocky rock side to side kind of thing. And congratulations. And I believe now we come to the part why I bought this new kit. I hope. Is it the smallest one I got? You bullshitting me right now? You don't fit? Oh, wait. Maybe it's just new. He's new. He don't know what to do. Oh, wait. Back out of the hole. Yeah. Feels like it fits. It's just, oh, they got a little slide cap on these things. Look at that. It doesn't necessarily work all the time, but sometimes it works. That makes me feel good. Makes me feel kind of funny. All right, so these RC Pit Products things were like, I don't know, $10, $15, something like that. Since they're brand new, is literally the first two screws I put in with them. And it seems like they're nice and snug. Seems like they do tightens things and stuff. Looks like the kit, they give you 5 of these screws. So apparently if you waste one, however you would do that, break it, lose it, Eat it. I imagine at some point you could probably twist one of these off, but you'd think it would strip out the. You would think it would strip out the plastic first, but you never know. I guess. Okay, super fun time. Ooh, it's like a smooth metallic action in there. All right, so if you watch the cups, now they turn opposite of one another. But if you spin it, you see how it's trying to turn and twists both sides of it? You can unlock one of the sides, you see? Yeah, mostly. So don't get too excited. All right. Now that there's not just raw grease and oil and shit running around inside this gear case, it seems to be a lot cleaner than what it was, but I didn't get to use it for very long. So let's see if these are new bearings or not. Ooh. Ooh, glassy smooth. They are grassy smooth. I like them. I'll use them. I'll take it. And remember, folks, they should be even and square level before you go trying to push this shit on there. Okay. With a confirming little click. Oh, yes. Here we go. See, now they can spin independently, but they're nice and tough so they can take an ass kicking like we need them to. And boy, does this motor have an ass kicking to give. All right. What do we need? 4 of these things. A lot of these are kind of similar sizes, so getting them each bolt back in each hole correctly, it's just like pick which size and how many you need. And that's how you grow your bolt bin just a little bit, because occasionally you do need bolts just for little project stuff or other little machines, etc., etc. How long are we into this? Ooh, man, cooking right along. Already got the new diff built, and we're only 48 minutes in. Groovy. I'm not looking to set any speed records necessarily. I don't really care how fast it gets done. It's just for you, the viewer. We should strive to have the content completed and the message sent without so much fluff. All right, nice and snug on all the diff case bolts. I say nice and snug, Hercules. You don't have to kill it. It's not the only bolt that holds the car in place. Flatten them down nice and snug. Spin it afterwards. See what happens. Does it turn hard? Did you get it right? It spins nice and easy. You see how everything goes together nice and easy? Some things you have to pull it apart a little bit, like this little brace here is kind of rough to get it out sometimes, but mostly you only have to do things nice and easy, I think is what I was going for there. Why don't I show you what it's like for one of these bead locks? And then I will shut the stream down, because I promise you this bead lock is going to take plenty of time. Enough time for me to want to leave. Okay, new guy. Let's see how new guy does. These outer ring bolts. Oh, yes. Lovely. You can't hear it probably, but these things are squealing. Aluminum and steel are not friends. They don't like each other. They tend to corrode. Aluminum's corrosion is called aluminum oxide, is what they use to cut diamonds. They use Use it to make bulletproof shit too, but whatever. So when aluminum oxidizes and creates this nasty little white grubby coating that makes all kind of squealy sounds, you need to start spraying in penetrating oil. These are like 2mm bolts on these beadlock rings. Some of them will be loose. Do not use Loctite unless you never want to get it apart and you want to really find out how frustrating tiny broken shit is. Then use all the fucking Loctite you want. Get it in there and glue it solid. Shit. It'll never come apart. You'll never need to take it apart or service it. I do really enjoy these aluminum beadlocks for the reason that they got this inner hub that spaces the wheel out. So it's like a wheel spacer and hub kind of situation. These other Integy plastic rims do not have the beadlock ring on the outside, which I find fortunate. Because unless you're using big heavy duty shit, or although this one, these always held and did an incredibly good job. So I cannot, you know, if the Integys don't work, if they start releasing the bead, like on my Toyota, because these rims here are probably going on to that Toyota. Put some super swampers on it and grab that bead all the way around, because those probably take a lot more. A lot more of the butt kicking. Watch out, any Allen head screw that has dirt in the hole, you're going to want to make sure that you get the fitment in there correctly. Sometimes you can take it, set it down, whack it with a fucking hammer or the end of a screwdriver that's solid, whatever. But you need to seat the Allen head into the screw as deeply as it possibly can, because a stripped Allen head is no fun. And at some point, this should be fun. It's theoretically possible. It could even be seen as a hobby. But seat the Allen screw, or seat the driver into the screw is what I'm going for there. Yay! I don't know how many there are because I never paid attention to count. There are how many there are, and that's how many you're going to need to do. So get started. On 4 tires, yeah, you have to re-engage the suck 4 different times. All right. But I find beadlocks are worth it. Beadlocks are definitely worth your trouble, worth your time. Is there somebody watching this? That would be crazy. Good times. Coincidentally, this is exactly how beadlocks work in the real world. So if you wonder why it's so expensive to have somebody install them, it's because they have to suffer for you. Wheel spacer. The inner lug of the wheel spacer comes on these little rings here, which on these are the clamps. So I don't know. I doubt highly that I'll be able to get these spaced out. Nope. They got a different groove on them. Oh well. Maybe that'll mean that I can do a regular body and not have to chop the back of the fenders so radically. That would be cool. All right, we switched to a bigger size. Moving on up in the world. We can be trusted with bigger stuff now. I will be doing this to all 4 of them, and I will be reinstalling the gearbox and stuff, but it's understandable, I think, that ending the live stream as soon as I get one of these tires mounted up, because, yeah, about that time. Getting close to the witching hour, my friends. All right. On the inside, as you can see, they've only got 5 lovely little screws, and that comprises the inner ring, which then you have to get to break free, which is kind of an ordeal. You can take your Fisher Controls flat-bladed screwdriver here. Oh, you don't have one of those? No. I suggest highly that you get one. I'm peeling shit without trying to lose all the screws. All right? If you're wondering what the hell I'm doing and not showing you stuff, fine. I'll take all the screws out because I like you. Here. All of them, set them aside. Remember, I got to keep all these screws because I'm swapping. The Toyota that I have has plastic bead locks, but they're chrome, which is why I didn't just swap them out for this car, because this car, I think, not 100%, but I think looks a little better on white rim. A lot of the rally cars run a white rim. Pardon me. I promise you I have spoken before this. Okay. And there we go. All right. Comes off like so. You got the inner ring where the bolts are. You can hear that. Here is your tire. Little rally tire. I think they're 10 or 12 bucks a set for 4. If I'm not mistaken, this is a TA04 hard inner foam, and I flip them. You see how they got grooves? You see? I flip that shizzle. And then, of course, you've got your bead lock rim deal now. You hear that? Very heavy. It's cast, but still very heavy. There you go. Comes in 2 parts. Whee! That's machined and forged. You can tell by the ring. You see that? Ooh, it's ringing though. That's not. It's still cast, isn't it? Maybe they anodized it. Very nice anodized piece of whatever. It's done now. You can tell that it's metal. I think you've heard it. Hear my words, people. And again, I'm only changing out because it turns out that the metal is quite a bit heavier than these little plastic doohickeys. My doohickums are too heavy. All right. So as you can see, 3-piece. Where the hell did that go? Ah, and they've got center caps. Isn't that adorable? Little cute ass center caps, but I don't use them. All right, so here's your inside ring. The inside ring has to be there because it's inside the tire. And that's what you're bolting on to the outside of. Oh, wait a minute. Am I doing this just the right way? This one pair. This one goes here, so make sure you do it the right way. They are directional, and you don't want to do it twice, so pay attention. You need 2 going each way for each side. The inner bead, okay, you see that's the sidewall of the tire pulled all the way out. The inner bead has to go over the ring. Tire's going to want to play a bunch of games with you. Tire might be a butthole, okay? But you just gotta fit it and let it get all the way over and sit on the inside to where the ring is sitting inside the bead. Are you with me? Are you there, kids? All right. Now these, you don't get the luxury of instructions, so it's an acid test. I kind of find it easier that way. It's pass-fail. You're going to want to notice that there is a smooth side to the inner ring and then a notched side to the inner ring. Smooth side is where smooth ring goes. Notched side is where notched ring goes. Isn't it so cool? Now, that is counter. Yeah, okay. So as you can see, the way it is clocked, the rims do not necessarily line up exactly perfect. I will try to see if there is one direction that they are. No, they are not, because you can see there's the notch and the spokes of the rim are lined up with the notch. You see how the spokes of the rim are not lined up with the notch? Guess what? You never get them lined up with the notches. Oh, heartbreaking, isn't it? Shit happens. Okay. There we go. Ooh, I felt something. I felt something. You may have to pull out to get the bead to seat correctly. You may have to get it to push in a little bit. It just kind of all depends on what you're rocking. All right, as you can see on the back, they've got little holes all the way around for the nuts. So let's get some nuts. There's times like these where it is handy to note somewhere in the kit there's going to be a long screw. What's that long screw there for? Take a guess. If we put the long screw through, well, that's not looking so funny. Let's see here. You wouldn't. You wouldn't. There you go. All right, so smooth ring is how you can clock the holes correctly and get your holes lined up. Oh, shit. Let me go ahead and throw that over there. Good high impact plastic and it works well. Okay. So yes, you can clock them and get the spokes to line up. I was being dumb. There you go. Now, some spokes are lined up. Just got to rotate that smooth inner ring or outer ring, whichever one's the smooth one. I forgot already. Don't care. One of the rings is smooth. Rotate it. Oh, goody. Extremely tiny little nuts. You can either deal with a massive ring of bolts or really tiny nuts. What do you want to do? All right, so when you're putting that long bolt through, what that does is allow you to get a nut on there, because believe it or not, the tolerances are actually pretty tight for the tire. So what you're going to want to do, get that long one started and started soaking this thing down, sucking it down in there. You do not want to do it like super tight. You're just trying to get the rim to bite deep enough to where you can set another bolt in next to it. And hopefully you will be able to tighten this down enough where it actually starts pulling in. And they may actually sometimes, yep, they'll do two of them. All right. Luckily, they did two. I've seen kits where they came with one. It was kind of confusing. It's like they might have meant to stick in the second one and didn't. All right. All right. So you see that? Those two bolts, they're sticking out. That's not the way that they're going to go, but these are just to get this thing sucked down in here. You see how it's starting to pull into the bead? Into this rim. All right, it's starting to suck everything down in. And then you'll take your other shorter screws, pop them through there, and you can see now it's starting to get through. Whichever slot it is, here I'll put a nut on there. Of course, on those, you're just going to have to pop the nut down into its slot, get it started, and soak it in to where the nut and the bolt are flush. The nut and the screw are flush. Go across to another side, to the other side. Plots in another one of these. Yippee, skippy, there you go. There you are. All right. And starts drawing them down. Now look, these nuts and screws are not really all that tough. So you're not going to be able to draw these things down like super hardcore without them stripping. The bolt will strip the nut. Screw, bolt, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's strippable. And usually that stripping point comes just a little bit after it gets good and tight and where it would lock down the bead of the tire. Because remember, these are clamping the tire to the rim so that when you go off-road and start to shred, the amount of force you're applying to it will easily tear through super glue, in my experience. All right, very, very gently. Like I said, just as the head of the screw is starting to come, or the end of the screw is starting to come through. All right, but you can see how now the rim is slightly recessed into the tire. You see the backside of it? It never really does get recessed into the tire. Backside of these rims take an ass kicking. The best you can hope for is about dead level with the sidewall. But you see, it doesn't pull out. Now, if you go hard enough at the sidewalls, these things, they will rip. So I don't do that too much. That was just an example. Now these are loose because the rest of them are snugly. All snugly down. Typically, they will give you the extra, the 2 extra nuts it takes to get these bolts done. Somewhere in one of these drawers, I actually have another set of these. These are 2mm metric. It's like, I can't remember the actual thread pitch, but they're 2mm I call them shouldered cap. They're not shouldered cap screws. They're cap head Allen screws, I think is what they call them. But if you had to order more, and then the regular bolts are 2mm as well. So there you have it. Just about close to done putting these in. And then I will cut the stream off because it's about time to get into some food and such. Come on. There it went. All right, you got to hold the nut in place, you know, while you're doing all this. Make sure that you, as you're going around in the circle, you'll feel these things actually snug down to full tight once you get all 6 of them in there. There it goes. You'll feel it. It's a point where everything feels flat and square, like it tightens where there isn't any need to tighten it beyond that. And look, I'm doing this with fingertips, people, fingertips. This stuff will hold together, and you need to run it for a minute and, you know, check it out. If you feel like it's coming loose, then grab yourself some Loctite. And yeah, if you lose too many of the bolts, you're gonna have to buy another set of rims. So don't be stupid. If you think it's gonna happen ahead of time, be my guest. Put some Loctite on it. All right. Peel this back around, put it on rear end. Yep, it's directional, so it's on the right way. And let's go with, this looks like a decent lug stud. Something to pay attention to also, I've just forgotten that. Okay. All right. Quite often these lug studs don't fit through the center. I mean, it's trying, but it won't go through. So, as with everything, cut that sumbitch. Just slice it up. All right, or take your body reamer, and yeah, if you're willing to buy a body reamer again, like to sacrifice it, you can use that on aluminum rims if you had to. Typically, I would probably just Dremel it or take a drill bit and ream it, but whatever you want to do. It's your call, however you feel like doing it. You can drill some happy little holes. There you go. The idea that the lug stud being kind of loose in the rim doesn't necessarily matter, because you are shouldering the rim on the shoulder of the bolt, okay, as well as the big wide shoulder of that. That's your aluminum adapter, and of course, it's got the cross pins on the other side. Some of them will have little ridges here that are machined in, and sometimes cars don't like that shit, so you got to flatten it out. You got to just grind them off. So there we have it. As you can see, and I won't bore you with the details of doing the rest of the car in front of you, but that is an Integy white bead-locked rim. I think it looks pretty darn snazzy on the red body or the white. So if you didn't know, they use this for like a super special, the red paint job. That I think maybe 1 or 2 races ever, and then the rest of the time you would recognize this vehicle like this, perhaps for the Safari Rally. Take off the old roof guard and tires, and you got the regular old, what is this? The Monte Carlo. The Monte Carlo rally. So there it is. That is doing a transmission. I will be doing this, putting everything back, of course. That's the next steps. But what I was doing is just making sure I got all the subject matter covered. Excuse me, that I really, really wanted to. Yeah, so as you can see, we would go somewhat like this, and pop it like that, and there's that down there, but you got to put the axles in, and that's kind of a beast. Plus, I got to take that rim back off because it kicks everything sideways. But you know what, kids? I think I've been chattering at you for long enough. I mean, that's an hour and 16 minutes. Who the hell wants to watch any more than that? And I'm pretty sure you can figure out what you're doing by now because, you know, you've seen it. So monkey see and monkey go do. Enjoy yourselves. And I'll be back with some more stuff. Thanks for watching.